Far to the west, across the sea, there is this place called Vinland. It is a warm, fertile land, far from slavery and fires of war that no one can reach. Every now and then, there comes an anime or two that people will hype up, that might disappear in a few years after people forget about it, and hopefully the same thing doesn't happen to this anime that I'm gonna talk about, which is Vinland Saga. This anime is based off of a Viking manga. It is also pretty historically accurate. But before we jump right into it, did you know that only 0.1% of people watching my videos are subscribed? Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for more fun anime stuff. The plot of Vinland is very simple. It follows the ever-changing story of our main character Thorfinn and everyone around him. Firstly, we follow him on his path of revenge after a mercenary leader Askeladd kills his father. We get into this slightly tricky situation where Thorfinn swears in honor of his father to kill Askeladd in a fair and square duel. Thorfinn doesn't allow himself to have any other type of revenge, since at this point in time of his life, he is stuck on his warrior pride that he, you could say, inherited from his father Thors, who was once a great warrior on a battlefield. Because of the culture they live in, this attitude for this type of revenge is normalized for them to be this way. As kids, they even play pretend battles, so wars are very normalized in their culture. I would argue that Thors is the first main character in the story, be it for the little amount of time that he got. He is one of the two most important characters in the story since the beginning of it. Secondly, we follow Thorfinn on his path of discovery after he wasn't able to take his revenge properly, because Askeladd died by someone else's hand instead. Askeladd is the second most important character in the story alongside Thors, well, other than Thorfinn, who helped to shape the story, and most importantly Thorfinn's whole character. Thorfinn, aka the main character of the story, is in the beginning a lost kid in this brutal world where war and everything around it is glorified in the Viking society that he lives in. Growing up, all he did was experience war, so this was the only lifestyle that he led. After his first fight with Thorkel, he just popped his shoulder back up and just kept walking like nothing happened. And lastly, we follow him on his path of creating Vinland, the ideal place for everyone to live in. Everyone is tied down to this idea of Vinland in one way or another if you think about it. For Thors, it's this world of peace where there is no sign of any war or slavery. Even with his history as a Joan Viking, Thors is the most pacifistic character in the first season. He bought a dying slave for 8 sheep when this guy's dying ass might have been worth half a pickle at most. He bought him in the name of peace and Vinland from a guy whose personality is all about being a slave master, just to bury this poor guy. He also did not kill anyone on the other boat battle when Askeladd ambushed them at the canyon, even though he could have. His friends and family were in danger, so he had every reason to do so, also considering the era Vinland Saga takes place in. He just beat the living shit out of them like the biggest gigachat on this damn earth. At the beginning, when we meet Canute as a prisoner, just like Thorfinn when he was a kid, Canute was also an innocent character that would never kill anyone, but his life also changed because of war. At that point, he was also considered too feminine because he also likes cooking, which would never be considered manly or warrior-like in their society. For Canute, Vinland is this utopic land with no wars or conflict, similar to Thor's idea of Vinland, with the only difference of Canute having the political power to create this land. Askeladd is a complex character with a very deep backstory that shows how much he hates warriors and even himself, because he is also a warrior. He grew up as the bastard son of a slave in the middle of nowhere in Wales. His mother was always sick, so he had to do all of the work by himself, until he got his name that means the Ashen Lad. His mother more often than not talked about this hero called Artorius, their ancestor, a hero who would free them from slavery, and she kept waiting for this hero, but he never came. For Askeladd, it wasn't about waiting for any great heroes to come and to save the day, it is about becoming the hero to save the day, which he did at the end of season 1. For Thorfinn, unlike his father Thors, actually went out to create Vinland, which we see in the manga after the anime that I will not spoil for the video, and I would also appreciate not spoiling the manga in the comments below, please. It isn't just the manga now that's absolutely amazing, but it's also the anime as well that has been masterfully adapted by Studio Wit and later by pretty much the same people over at Studio Mappa from what I understand. They managed to turn a singular panels into full-blown flashback scenes and actually gave them the justice they deserved. There's also a bunch of anime original content in this adaptation. By the usual anime anime standards, anime original content, or what in other words we call filler, isn't normally as good as the manga canon content. Naruto and Bleach are examples of filler-filled anime that pale in the comparison to their original manga. We have seen some other ways of stretching anime content, like what they are doing with the One Piece anime. They pretty much made the new One Piece anime unwatchable, and Black Clover, from what I understand, has suffered the same loophole as well. The anime original content in Vinland Saga is different than from all the other anime I just mentioned. Firstly, they changed the order of some events. At the start of the anime, we have this anime original scene of Thors fighting on the boats. This whole battle is anime original. It is technically canon, but they managed to make up a whole scene based off just the knowledge about the battle. In the anime, they also added some parts where they show how Thorfinn joined Askela's mercenary group, and somehow all of these anime changes make more sense than in the manga, I feel like. That's just one of the examples of the anime changes, and in season 2 you get pretty much the same treatment, and I think that's why the adaptation of Vinland Saga is a great anime as well as a great manga. Thank you for watching the video till the end, have a nice rest of the day, and until next time, see ya later.